Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi barakatuhu. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Rabbil Sharli Sadri wa Yassirli Amri Wahlul Aqdatam min Lisani Yafqahu Qawli. Welcome to Sufi Voice. Acquiring knowledge at Baghdad. When Sheikh Abdul Qadir Jilani, our beloved Hazrat, reached Baghdad, he was very young, 18 years old. The moment Hazrat reached Baghdad, an angel appeared in a human form and prevented Hazrat from entering Baghdad city. The angel instructed Hazrat that it was Allah's order that he should not enter Baghdad for another 7 years. And the angel took him to a ruined desert and said, "Stay here and do not leave this place." As instructed, Hazrat remained there for 3 years. Every year, the angel would appear to him and tell him to stay where he was. During his stay for 3 years in the isolated, seduced place where no one used to live, our young Hazrat used to live alone. And once in a while, devil used to take up different forms and shapes and used to tempt, sometimes bother, and sometimes even frighten our young Hazrat. But Hazrat was very firm and he had a very strong faith on Allah, which always protected our Hazrat, and Hazrat always stood victorious over the evil. It was a time when Hazrat used to have a very tough war with his ego. Every now and then, ego used to come before our young Hazrat and try to convince him. But our young Hazrat did not give any scope to the ego, and he always stood victorious to control it. Over a period of time, our young Hazrat had learned to control and keep ego under his control. During the first 3 years, the first year, Hazrat says he had ate only grass and roots that he could find and did not drink water. The second year, he had lived or survived only on water and did not eat anything, not even a morsel of food. The third year, he had neither ate nor drank nor slept, and always kept himself busy in the prayers and used to walk in the desert barefoot, and nothing used to harm him. Desert harms and thorns did not have any impact on him. And to keep his nafs, to keep his ego under control, he used to keep himself very busy in prayers. Finally, at the end of 7 years, one day he heard a voice at night. instructing our Hazrat to enter Baghdad. Upon the divine instruction, Hazrat spent a few days in Baghdad, and soon he felt that the city was not good for him, as there were some mischievous people. Some of them were very materialistic, and he had a thought that if he stayed there for a longer duration, it would be a risk to his faith, and he decided to leave the place. Leaving all the things aside and taking Quran along with him, he started moving towards the gate of the city to once again get into a seclusion in the desert. Then, for his surprise, he once again heard a voice from the unseen. The voice said, "What are you doing?" And our young Hazrat replied, "I am returning. I don't want to stay here." Then the unseen voice instructed him, "Go back to Baghdad. You are destined to serve. You must serve the people there." Then our young Hazrat gave a reply, "So why should I go and serve the people there when there is a risk to my faith, and who will save my faith?" To this question again came a response from the unknown in the form of a very clear voice, "Return, and your fear, and you need not fear for your faith. Nothing will ever harm you." So as he got this assurance from an unknown and unseen voice, he abided to go back to the city. And as the days passed, he was spending days in prayers searching for a master. And one day, an invisible hand led our Hazrat to Turkey, the mystical lodge of Sheikh Hamad ibn Muslim al-Dabbas. The Sheikh, knowing by divine inspiration of Hazrat's coming, had the doors of the lodge shut and the lights put out. As Hazrat sat at the sill of the lodge door, sleep came upon him. He had a nocturnal emission and went and bathed himself at the river and took his ablution. He fell asleep again, and the same thing happened 7 times during that night. Each time he bathed and took ablution in the ice cold water. In the morning, the gates were opened, and he entered the Sufi lodge. Sheikh Hamad stood up to greet our young Hazrat. Weeping with joy, he embraced him and said, "O my son Abdul Qadir, Good fortune is ours today, but tomorrow it will be yours. Do not ever leave this sacred path. Sheikh Ahmed became his first teacher in the sciences of mysticism. It was by holding his hand that he took his vows and entered the path of Sufis. And he was blessed with divine knowledge and high concentration. He used to grab as a student the things very fast, and at times used to spend more time in isolation. Sometimes he would not return to the place and would spend time in learning theology, traditions, religious laws, and other sciences. And whenever Hazrat used to return from circulation, his master would tell him, each time he returned, he would tell him, "Where were you been? We have had so much wonderful food for our bodies, minds, and souls. While you were gone, and you haven't kept a thing, and we haven't kept a thing for you." At another times, he would say, "For Allah's sake, where do you go? Is there anyone around here who knows more than you do?" His dervishes would tease Hazrat continuously and say, "You are a man of law and a man of letters, a man of knowledge, a scientist. What business do you have among us? Why don't you get out of here?" And as an answer to that questions, Hazrat Sheikh would chid them and say, "Shame on you. I swear that there is none like him among you. None of you will rise above his toe. If you think I am harsh with him and you imitate me, I do it to bring him to perfection and to test him. I see him in the spiritual realm, steady as a rock, as a big mountain." So that was our young Hazrat's place in the heart of his master. Subhana Rabbika Rabbil Izzati Amma Yasifun wa Salamun ala Mursaleen walhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen.